Tell us your mentality, man, about playing offensive tackle. I mean, you have the potential, just to be absolutely elite.
Damn, go ahead and share your thoughts on the thesis.
Yeah, baby. That's what we do. We are the Buckeyes. What up, Buckeye Nation? What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Devin. I'm excited to be here. I had a quick pause in my introduction because not sure what's going on right now. I had several audios playing in my ear at the same time, so it confused me. So sorry about that. But guys, before we dive into this thing, you know what to do. Hit that like button for me. Hit the subscribe button as well. Super chats are open as well. Got a quick little show planned for you guys tonight. I always find it interesting, right? Player eligibility. I know things are getting pretty wild, but it gets difficult to keep up with who has what eligibility at Ohio State. So I want to dive into tonight a little bit of some of these guys that we've watched play at Ohio State forever. They're in their last year. Some of them are coming into their second to last year, maybe haven't made impacts yet. We're going to dive into that a little bit, talk about the potential of them making an impact this year, or if we think they're going to stick around, we'll just see where it goes. But I appreciate everybody in the chat. Sean says, there's a big ice storm headed my way. Is there really? Are you messing with me? Appreciate you guys in there, man. Matt doing well tonight. Thank you, Solners, for that. This is one of my favorite shirts. It's a reminder for me every single day. Again, appreciate you guys for being here. But let's dive into this thing a little bit. Like I said, I always get confused on how many years players have left, and you can't always go to the Ohio State roster and see that, because I was told this year, if you went and looked at, matter of fact, I'm going to do that. If you went and looked at Kenyatta Jackson's profile at the Buckeye website, it said this was his last year. He didn't have any eligibility left, yet I knew that he did the whole time. So I'm about to double check that and see for myself. I don't know. No, it didn't say that. It said 2 years of eligibility left. So whoever told me that, they are dead wrong. But I want to start off with Brandon Innis, obviously coming out of high school, highly rated wide receiver prospect, did not redshirt his freshman year. According to the information that I found, I meant to precursor some of this by saying, hey, this is the information that I think I know on player eligibility. I could be wrong on a few of them, but I'm sure today's day and age, if you have a YouTube show and you say something wrong on it, I know somebody's going to let me know. So you can also learn from people in the chat as well. So I know somebody will correct me on that. But Brandon Innis' last year in 2024, 14 receptions, 176 yards. Last year, 36 receptions, 271 yards. This is his last year. Was a captain this past year. We're all well versed in Brandon Innis, what he means to this team, what he does for this team. But every player has that goal of going to the NFL. And a player as highly ranked as Brandon Innis was out of high school, and all his buddies around him that he's seen go into the first round and go have success in NFL. I am curious as to see what does an NFL team think about him? What is his potential in the NFL? And a lot is going to ride on this year. I mean, this year it's his last chance to make that impact and see where he can, go in this draft. I think he's going to have, at least in my opinion, I'm not the best at diagnosing where some of these guys are going to go in the NFL in the draft, but he's going to have to come out and he's going to have an absolutely phenomenal year to get talked about in that manner and be drafted up as high as I'm sure he wants to go. And just based off of what we've seen, we'll see if he has that potential or not. The problem with, I think a lot of Brandon Innis is look at the wide receivers that he's been around his entire career. He's always waited behind first rounders. So puts himself in a spot where he knows what it takes. He sees what it takes, but been a little bit, I don't want to say like shoved under the rug at all, but he's been overshadowed by, and still is, by Jeremiah Smith right now. And you also, Buckeyes went in the portal this year and got some other wide receivers. So it's going to be a grind for him. I do think this year he was open a lot more than Julian Sayin saw him and utilized him. So coming in this year, I think Julian Sayin, can depend on Brandon Innis, can depend on Jeremiah Smith with their ability and what they have. They've been in this offense, a new offense this year, but he's built trust with them. Those players have been around. They've thrown with Julian the longest. So I'm curious to see coming into this year, does it look like Jeremiah Smith, number one, Brandon Innis, number two? So, I've been a lot higher on Brandon Innis than a lot of other people have. I think the dude has that elite ability to go make an impact and come out this year and be the number two receiver on this team. People question his speed. People question his route running, and it's just simply looking at his production. And here at Ohio State, we're used to, first round level production out of every single one of our wide receivers. But you look at every year he's played, Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, and then Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, and then him. Well, this is his year, man, right? There's no Carnell Tate in front of him. There's no Emeka Egbuka. There's only Jeremiah Smith. And as we've seen the past 2 years, right, you can be the number two wide receiver at Ohio State and go first round in the draft. Don says, Innis stayed open. Yeah, like I said, he was open. He was open a couple times this year. A couple times. Deb, you played any football? No, I did not. It's one of my bigger regrets in life. But with me, man, I was a lot smaller in high school. I played basketball, ran track a little bit, played baseball, and golfed, actually. But I was tinier, man. But I still wish I would have played football, bro. I didn't grow till I graduated. But yeah, didn't play much football at all. Drank says Innis can block. He'll get good looks. Yeah, he can, and he's also, what he means to this team is a lot more than the production that he put on the field. Another one in their money year this year, meaning you got to impress the scouts if you want to get drafted high. I was glad we brought this guy back as a freshman, made a huge impact on this team. And the expectation has always been sky high, and that is Germaine Matthews. Last year of eligibility. We'll be heading to the NFL draft after this, but how high? How high is this dude going to go in the draft? There's a lot of people, you saw Denzel Burke drafted. We're going to watch Iggy get drafted this year. Even 2 years ago, it's Germaine Matthews going to be the highest drafted corner that we have, especially out of that group right there. And I believe so. I believe he has, the sky is the limit for him to jump up this draft board this year. He knows it. He's already, acting that way inside of the Woody in these workouts, I'm sure, and putting his head down, grinding and getting to it. But these are big years. And, we've seen in the past, and this means something to these guys. When it's your last year and it's your last year, dude, it has to mean a little bit more, especially when that's been your goal your entire life. Like, hey, that's what I want to do. I want to go to the NFL and I want to play football for a long time, make a lot of money, all those things. Well, this is his chance, man. Reminder as well, I did not do the portal guys. Well, I did Bo Atkinson, a portal guy from last year, obviously, but I didn't do any of the new portal guys. I'll do another show on them and talk about the eligibility that they have remaining here and what our thoughts on them might be as well. But the next one I have coming into his last year, Bo Atkinson. Um, again, last year, if he has hopes for the NFL, something different is definitely going to happen this year than what happened last year. When you watch the tape this year, and it looks like he came in late to this program and didn't get the experience, enough of the weight room and stuff that these other Buckeyes did. And why did it look like that? Because that was the truth. Came in the spring portal, so missed the winter workout session that a lot of these transfers are going through right now. Ryan Day talked about that's the one good thing about this new, hey, there's one portal, and it's that your roster's solidified. You know who it's going to be. But for Bo Atkinson to have a year this year to get on the draft board, you watch Tywone Malone this year possibly play his way, into being drafted, but I don't believe he was invited to the combine. So I thought he did well this year. So for Bo Atkinson to put himself in that spot, you're going to have to be at bare minimum the number 3 defensive end, right? Or take that number 2 spot. And Kenyatta Jackson's coming back. It's his last year as well. He's got one of those spots locked down. And you got Zion Grady and Epi behind him, and transfer Quay Rasal as well. It's a grind, man. It's a dog eat dog world inside of the Woody. That's the way they want it. They bring in competition. It breeds excellence. It makes the guy next to you try even harder, push even harder, go even further. All of those sayings that we hear over and over again. But Bo Atkinson, I think it's going to be tough, man. The Brandon Innis conversation, I have a lot more confidence that, he can be the number 2. And I know that's not, a lot of people don't feel that way. I do. I have confidence he can come out this year and possibly end this season as the number 2 wide receiver with, yardage and receptions, and put himself on the map to get drafted fairly well in the NFL. Doesn't have the measurables of some of these other wide receivers that we have, but same with Germaine Matthews. My confidence is really high on him that he's going to put himself in a spot this year to be drafted fairly high. Bo Atkinson, not so much, man. Not so much. The confidence level just isn't there. But we've all been surprised before. I'm not going to put anything past anybody, but he's going to have an absolute heck of a year. Next Buckeye that we know also well, Carson Hinsman, recruited in the 2022 class. He did redshirt. This is his last year, his last opportunity. Could have went out this year. He would have been drafted this year. Was one of the better centers in the country. Don't know if he'll play center in the NFL, possibly guard, but this is the dude's last year, coming in. So it's that money-making year again. He's solidified a starting role of some kind. I am curious to see how this offensive line shakes out. 95% sure Carson Hinsman will remain the center for this team because of the experience that he has doing it. There's a lot that speaks to experience as a center. So I expect him to remain at the center position, come out, have an even better year than he had last year. And I believe he was an All-American on either 1 or 2 lists, maybe just 1. I'm not sure, but had a good year. So expect him to come out, grind. This is his last year, and put himself in a position to bump up the grades that he got this year. Another one in the 2022 class. Man, when I say this player's name, I've heard some people absolutely hating on this next player, and that is Bennett Christian. I know you guys, we watched some of the tape from this year in the red zone, some of the ways we used all these tight ends, and it just, watching the tape, Bennett Christian just did not seem to get the job done. Yet after the season, Ryan Day, when you bring up the tight end room, he's talking about Bennett Christian and the leadership that he brings to this room. Well, does that mean that he's going to be on the field this year? Dang, bro, I screwed up. I meant to get how many snaps he got this year, but you got Nate Roberts in there. You got the 2 transfer tight ends coming in as well. And with the way they rotated in tight ends last year and Arthur Smith coming in, I think tight ends are going to have the opportunity. Do not think Bennett Christian is going to, be able to play this year and get drafted in the NFL, but we shall see. We shall see. Next one, Kenyatta Jackson, drafted in the 2022 class. A lot of people surprised he didn't go to the draft this year, but that's because the dude has first-round potential. The dude has the ability to come back again this year, grind even harder, come out, have a 12, 13, 14 sack season. He's got the measurables. He was at the Ohio State's combine last year that they worked out some of the NFL players. He worked out with them, and he impressed a lot of those NFL GMs that were there. I don't think he had quite had the production that he wanted to have this year, but I think this year for Kenyatta Jackson, he's got the opportunity to bump himself up in the first or second round in this draft with the measurables and what he's able to do on the field. There's a little conversation going around that a conversation was had about giving him a little bit more freedom to get after the quarterbacks because, as an edge at Ohio State, you're not asked to go after the quarterback every single time. You know what I'm saying? You're asked to, hold the edge, do different things like that. So it's hard to gauge because when he did get after the quarterback, he seemed to be pretty good at it. He's got the arms, he's got the speed, he's got, like I said, all the measurables, and this is a huge year for him, and he knows it. I expect really big things from him. He's kind of in that Germaine Matthews conversation with me that I think going to be a couple star players on this football team next year. Next one, Luke Montgomery. Came in the 23 class, was one of the few freshmen that did not take a red shirt. He played a lot as a freshman. We all know this is his last year. Now, playing left guard, he had some really good games this year and then had some not so hot games. So very athletic guard. And again, in his money year. So gonna come out, got to be more consistent. He has to be a leader inside of this room. And again, another one, this offensive line, when you dive into the experience and the leadership that we have there, the opportunity these guys have, this is my list. That's it. Those are the only players that have been on here for a while that this is their last year. This is it for them. They don't have any more eligibility. It's their money year. There's some other players, if my information is correct, that you probably expect to go to the NFL. We're going to dive into those here in a second after this next year, but they could come back again for another year. The first one, Jason Moore, top 100 recruit. Larry Johnson said all kind of good things about him. He had 45 total snaps this past season. And a lot of people are wondering, he's got 2 years of eligibility left. If my information is correct, he took a red shirt in 2023. So coming in to his, what would you call it? Red shirt junior year. And he would have one more year of eligibility after this. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there, but I do not believe that I am. So technically this isn't his last chance, but you do got to wonder, like, if this dude doesn't make at least the 2 deep this year, then I don't see him sticking around. A lot of people expected him to hit the portal this last portal class. They did. I'm glad he didn't. He was kind of in that Tywone Malone, area of thinking. Like when you think about the defensive line, you think about the potential. You had Tywone Malone. Look at the impact he made for us this year. Was a serviceable player, did well. Well, Jason Moore's there as well. Potential through the charts. We'll see if it clicks for him at all this year. We'll see if he gets We'll see if he gets on the field this year in the two deep. I don't see him pressing for a starting role, and that's just based off of the past and who's beat him out before. But again, you could be surprised. So Jason Moore, after this year, can come back again. Another one in that boat, according to my information, Will Smith Jr., redshirted his freshman year, coming into his fourth year with the program, does have a fifth year of eligibility remaining. Undersized nose tackle, switched positions a couple times. We watch him back up K-Mac this year, and the consistency has to pick up. But I watch Will Smith Jr., and this is just me, in the backfield a lot. That dude is explosive. Very, very powerful hands and very explosive off the line. And we know what Larry Johnson thinks about that. I think Will Smith Jr. coming in to this year is probably pretty underrated. A lot of people questioning our defensive tackles. Brought in John Walker and James Smith as well, but I don't know. It's you got to, when you think about this starting defensive line, you think about the players that we have there: the Edric Houston, the Will Smith Jr., the James Smiths, the John Walkers, the Kari Wilder coming in, some other players as well. It's just like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential there. And with Will Smith playing in the two deep this year, I should have looked up his snap counts. That's shame on me for not having that. But he played quite a bit this year, and big time moments as well. So I'm very curious to watch where he lands on this depth chart for this upcoming season. I really, really am. One of the more curious things on the defensive side of the ball is to watch how this defensive line shakes out. Will Smith Jr. has an opportunity this year to do that. Josh Padilla in the 2023 class, he did redshirt his freshman year. A lot of people have called for him to get in more. He was the sixth offensive lineman this year, got injured. That set him back some, but towards the end of the year, we watched him play in the Miami game, did very, very well. He is the backup center, but with Carson Hinsman coming back, he does have another year after this. So with the Buckeyes keeping him around like this, I don't know if he makes the starting lineup, but if he does not make the starting lineup, I would guess he's the backup center and he's the backup guard. He's the number 6 offensive lineman on this roster. So again, an important year for him to solidify his spot and where he's at. We need all the offensive linemen we can get. We saw several. We know what happened the year before. We saw this year there are games with some of these guys out, man. So you got to have players like Josh Padilla. Surprised we're able to keep him around, man. When you wonder why the Buckeyes didn't go in the portal, it's because it took everything they had to bring guys like this back. Carson Hinsman, Luke Montgomery, Josh Padilla, and this next one as well, Austin Sareveld, our starting left tackle. He's got 2 years of eligibility left, according to my information. In the 2023 class, redshirted his freshman year, be coming into his fourth year in the program, does have the potential to come back again. We've watched his career play out because of injuries. The year before last got to start a couple games, and then comes out this year and is our starting left tackle, man, and is a captain. Okay, so this dude is solidifying himself into a Donovan Jackson legend type of offensive line here at the Buckeyes. A big year for him as well. But again, still has more eligibility left. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's always one of those little details that I always get curious about, because when you watch Buckeye football, things start to mingle together. And did they redshirt? Did they not redshirt? And I don't know why, but I thought this year was Jason Moore's last year. Literally, before the season, for some reason, I was like, this is Jason Moore's last shot. And then he played this year, and I'm like, well, this next upcoming year, that's his last shot. Nah, dude's got another year as well. Again, according to my information, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, that's the info there. I will talk about the transfer class as well. Maybe some of those guys we're going to see one and dones. We're going to see them this year, and that's it. Some other guys like Dominic Kelly has multiple years of eligibility remaining that can stay with this program for a while. I know you guys watched the Nevada and B. Moses show talking about Michigan, and they're getting rid of their Mark Pantoni of their team. Was waiting on that. I had to talk about it. I had to at least bring it up because it's looking like they have just given up hope with their football program. That's what they should do. They suck bad. You got Bryce Underwood. He's not good at all. And they've switched it over to basketball, and they seem to be doing well. They're putting the stomping on Purdue right now. So breaking news: Michigan's given up on their football program. They fired everybody, and they're switching to basketball. They're going to try to cheat and take over the basketball. Try to play hard and take over basketball as well. We'll see if it works for them. But I did hear they're cheating in basketball this year too, guys. So we'll see. Supposedly Justin Spiro is going to be putting out a story about something. I don't think it's that, but I've heard rumors that they just cheat in everything that they do. So, brings a little smile to my face when you see things like that happen to a program that's operated the way that they have. You knew Kyle Whittingham was going to clean house a little bit. I've always been curious as to, man, where does some of this stuff happen? Don't forget, there's an internal investigation going on there. So if what I'm hearing, there are some stuff happening up in there more than what's been reported. There are the Sharon Moore situation, supposedly a lot bigger than what was reported. It wasn't just him allegedly involved in some of those shenanigans. A lot of things going around. We'll see what leaks out from this internal investigation. We'll dive into it, guys. But hey, appreciate you for joining me on this off season. It's difficult sometimes, in the off season. There's no Buckeye football. You only get these workouts going on, but got some interviews lined up. Gonna get Epi on here for an interview. That could be pretty exciting. Gonna start diving into some 2027 interviews with some of these recruits. Dive into those as well. We'll obviously get Mr. Sanchez and Mr. Pettyjohn back on here for y'all. Have conversations with them. I'll continue to have guests on, but I appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for listening. Don't forget, hit that like button on the way out. Hit that subscribe button as well. Remember, I'm streaming on 2 channels because I'm a weirdo. Oh, the scum quarterback decommitted from the 2027 class. Oh, yeah, the director of recruiting just got fired. Yeah, their 27 class, they've probably known he was going to get fired. They just wanted to make sure the portal got shut down and everything before they did it, kind of like they waited till after their signing class got signed before they brought up the Sharon Moore stuff. That's how they operate. But there are going to be, because I don't think it was just that main guy. I think it was even everybody that worked for him. They're gone, bro. Those are the people these recruits see first. So they're starting over pretty fresh on the 2027 recruiting as well. So, man, it's going to be 2 or 3 years if they're able to rebuild that program. It's going to set them back a good little bit. It's huge. It's a big deal what just happened there. But anyway, appreciate you guys for watching. God bless y'all. Go Buckeyes. OH.